Hello, everyone, and welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys, joined by my co-host Gordon Chatterton. We're here to talk a little college football, maybe sprinkle in a little NFL this week. Gordon, it's almost November. Your Buckeyes were off last week, had a bye, didn't have to worry about watching them and getting too upset. Kentucky, on the other hand, they had a game, and we'll talk about it here in a second. But how you doing, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing really good. I like Sunday night's game, which I know that's pros. We might talk about that a little bit here in a little bit too, but I was impressed with Kentucky's offense, except for a couple things, and like I said, we'll talk about that later. But the defense I think the defense was in Mexico somewhere. Go ahead.
Yeah, there was nowhere near Kroger Field on Saturday, that's for sure. Horrible performance. I mean,
Yeah, there's a delay somewhere.
Yeah, there's a delay here somewhere.
Go ahead. I was just sitting there, and I was sitting there watching it, and what we was watching was texting back and forth. The offense looked great. I was really surprised. If they would play like that all year, they'd have a good record. Problem is Tennessee must not have much of a defense either.
No, Tennessee doesn't have much of a defense. A lot of offense, but Kentucky. We'll get into it deep here. But also on Sunday, you mentioned that your team didn't play Saturday, but your team played Sunday. And they had a heck of a game on Sunday night against Pittsburgh. Big win in Pittsburgh. Shout out, Gage. How you doing?
Yeah, I was worried in the first half. Something woke them up in the second half because they lit it up in the second half. Jordan Love, 20 straight pass completions.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Aaron Rodgers hadn't even done that. And that's saying something because he'd done a lot. So
Yeah. Absolutely. Big win for him. How hideous were those jerseys that Pittsburgh wore Sunday night?
It was hurting my eyes watching the game. It looked like someone puked on them before they walked out there. I hate saying anything about the throwback uniforms because some of them are nice. I like them. That one, no. That one trumped as far as being bad, worse than the Killer Bee uniforms they've had.
Yeah. Right now it's a battle between them and the Chargers from last week of worst jerseys of the season so far. Put them two in the trash can and ship them off somewhere and never bring them back out.
Yeah, send them over to them countries that are low on clothes so their teams have soccer uniforms because we don't want to see them no more. Them are nasty.
Yeah, send them over to the countries that think the Bengals won the Super Bowl in 2021. Let's do that. Oh, man. So, right now, I've kind of, you may see me looking over a little bit on the background here. I've kind of got an eye on the World Series over here. Toronto's up 3-1, and I mean, hey, if they win this today, they're up 3-2. And I thought it was over the other night after an 18-inning game. Like, man, what a game! I actually didn't stay up to watch that, but
yeah, a twofer.
Yeah, you know the 9 hot dogs, 9 beers, 9 innings. Wonder if anybody did that challenge in the 18 innings. They would probably be dead at this point.
Yeah, they'd either die from the hot dogs or from the beer, one of the two.
That's a lot in a game.
If they's at the stadium, they'd definitely be broke.
No doubt about it. But yeah, so right now the World Series going on. We're both pulling for the Blue Jays here, of course. We'd like to see Toronto win this thing.
Yeah, I think all three of us wanted to see the Blue Jays win, but we thought possibly the Dodgers was going to pull it out. Yeah. Hey, but we might get who we want to win.
I would take who I'd want to win and be wrong about my pick. I'm fine with that. Speaking of who I wanted to win and being wrong about my pick, let's talk about it real quick before we get into college. But Bengals blew it against the Jets the other day, and that's all we need to say about that. So last week, oh man, how awful was that game for the Bengals to lose to the winless Jets?
That was horrible. But what made it worse is they was up by 2 touchdowns in the middle of the fourth quarter. That made it worse. I thought Alice had a bad defense. They made Justin Fields look like the second coming of Tom Brady in the second half of that fourth quarter. That's bad. And Justin Fields was the guy that come.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, it made me feel like I was watching the same game from the night before, defensive-wise. Non-existent. Can I get some defense here with some of my teams? I mean, I'm defense apparently, but there's no resistance anywhere on either one of my teams.
The defense of both of your teams plays like the offense of the other team that day. If they're bad, they play good, but the offense can't play. And if your offense can play, your defense says, well, they got it. We don't have to show up.
Yeah, so just Cincinnati just completely blew that game right there. Breece Hall throws a touchdown pass. Yeah, Breece Hall threw a touchdown pass to Mason Taylor in the back of the end zone to take the lead and to win the game. Yeah, I mean, not much else you could say about that. Cincinnati's offense didn't let them down. You scored 38 points in an NFL game. You should win that game, especially against a team that hasn't won a game. So that's all on the defense. They asked Jamar Chase about some sort of leadership after the game, and he was like, I don't know. I don't play defense. I play offense. And it's like, oh, okay. And then Bengals had a players-only meeting. I just hope it was a better players-only meeting than the Eagles players-only meeting a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, they had a player-only meeting in a defensive room. Only thing I can say is I'm glad they got one because evidently they haven't used it yet.
No,
the defensive room, they ain't used it.
They ain't used it. So now they're going to have meetings there for once. I don't know. Tucker Kraft looked really good Sunday night.
Yeah. I had him. He's my fantasy tight end in ESPN league, so I had a good night.
Yeah, I imagine. I mean, man.
Yeah, Jordan Love and Tucker Kraft are on my fantasy team in that league.
Yeah, so it's pretty good there. I've lost like 3 in a row now in fantasy. I had Cam Scatterboo, and of course the injury to him, and that kind of hurt a little bit. B. John Robinson didn't do anything this week. How horrible was Atlanta with Kirk Cousins to get blown out to the Dolphins? Like, what is that?
Yeah, that's what I think. Someone needs to ask the Falcons a question. What kind of team are you? You blow out the Bills at home. Yeah. What was it, 3 weeks ago? Yeah. I mean, blew them out. Mm-hmm. I mean, won easily. And then the Miami Dolphins come into your house and absolutely whoop the shit out of you. Yeah. What team are you?
And then they get blanked by the Panthers.
Time.
I guess they get blanked by the Panthers too. 30-0.
Yeah. So I guess if they're a bad team, they say, no, we're worse. And they go against a good team. No, we're better.
They played in their competition, I guess. So it's just, I don't know. It's Atlanta Falcons football, I guess. Oh, man.
Okay.
Well, so that'll lead us now. Let's get into it here. Finally, I guess we could start talking about it a little bit. I guess. I mean, this is our college football podcast. Gordon, Kentucky falls to Tennessee last week. 56-34 in Lexington. What were your thoughts on this game here before I get on to my little soapbox?
All right, well, I'll try to. I'm here for you, brother. Like I said, their offense played awesome. Only had 330 yards passing, 5 touchdown passes. The receivers were awesome. They didn't have much of a running game to speak of. I mean, as far as individual effort, combined they was pretty good. Because the combined had a 146-yard rushing. I mean, through all of them.
Yep.
And 5 touchdown passes. Even in college, you should win, or it should be very close. It shouldn't be blown out city like this. I mean, what in the world? Like we said, their defense was somewhere in Mexico or Canada, but they was nowhere near Kroger Field last weekend. And the thing that killed them, turnovers, because they lost by 20, but it would have been closer had not had the turnovers. They may have won the game because they wouldn't have been able to score and had the ball back so quickly. I said, offense played great except for the 2 turnovers. Defense, once again, your defensive coordinator must come from the Atlanta Falcons because sometimes they're there and sometimes they're not.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm here for you, brother.
So Tennessee, they come off of, a couple losses here recently to Alabama, Georgia. And then Kentucky, they haven't won an SEC game all year, played Texas into overtime. I said last week on this podcast that I thought that this was a bad matchup, and I thought Tennessee would kill Kentucky. Well, here we are. Kentucky gets killed by Tennessee. But you're right, though. Kentucky shot themselves in the foot several times. Tennessee comes up 7-0 early on. 4 plays, 75 yards, no resistance at all. Kentucky gets the ball back. Cutter Boley gets his pass tipped and returned 45 yards for a pick 6. It's 14-0, just like that. But then, a few seconds afterwards, Boley finds Kendrick Law for a 71-yard touchdown pass, and it's 14-7. And I'm like, okay, we got a shootout coming up. This ain't going to be too bad. And then Tennessee comes right back down, 47-yard pass, and Tennessee takes a 21-7 lead. And then Deshaun Bishop, I think you may have had a nickname for him. I've had a 1-yard rushing touchdown in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Leads 28-7. So at that point, I'm like, oh man, this is going to be a beatdown, a bad beatdown. It's going to be horrible. And then the next drive, Kentucky, Cutter Boley finds DJ Miller for a 56-yard touchdown. And I'm like, man, this is crazy. This is back and forth. Kentucky gets a stop. What? Wait a minute. Kentucky gets a stop. What do you mean Kentucky gets a stop? Yeah, Kentucky got a stop in the second quarter. And then they come down, they score. Boley to Hester, 3-yard touchdown pass. It's 28-21. There's like less than a minute left. Tennessee's got the ball. You're thinking, you go into halftime here, you're feeling pretty good. But what does Kentucky do? What does Mark Stoops do? He gives up a touchdown at the end of the half like he does all the time his whole coaching career. Horrible. 5 seconds left. Tennessee scores a touchdown, and now they're up 35-21, and you just feel like it is over at that point in time. Second half comes around. Tennessee, touchdown, 62 yards, 42-21. And then Kentucky gets a touchdown, and it makes it 42-27. Another touchdown for Tennessee, 49-27. And then Bishop scores a touchdown. Well, the other time it's 56-27. Kentucky scores a touchdown at the end, making it 56-34. Boley to Hester. Explosive plays for Tennessee. Aguilar was 6 of 6 for passes more than 20 yards or more down the field. 3 of those passes were for 50 or more yards during the third quarter alone. What is the defense doing at that? You know what I mean? So Joey Aguilar, obviously we can agree they won the trade between them and UCLA. 20 of 26, 396 yards, 3 touchdowns. Brazil, he had 138 yards receiving. Mike Matthews had 107 yards receiving. Staley had 105 yards receiving for Tennessee. And 3 guys over 300 yards receiving. What are we doing here? What are we doing? Deshaun Bishop, he didn't really run the ball a whole lot because when would you at that point in time? Hands at that point in time. And then Farouk, the linebacker, had a 45-yard interception return. This was after his stint with the Nation of Domination back in the 90s. So he comes in here and he gets an interception return for Tennessee. And then, as you mentioned, Cutter Boley, 330 yards. 1 pick. Wasn't his fault. It was tipped up. 5 touchdowns. Really impressive. DJ Miller, 120 yards receiving. Nice game for the freshman. Kendrick Law had that 1 big play. Not a whole lot after that. Finally, they're trying to utilize him a little bit. They're looking better on offense. This is the most points they've scored against a Power 4 school since 2023. Craziness going on there, and it's not getting any better for Kentucky anytime soon. That's my thoughts on it right now. I think I'm going to say it once again. Stoops got to go. He's got to go at this point in time.
That's what I was about ready to say. I said it's time for a change at the top.
He led Kentucky back to 8 straight bowl games, and that's great for Kentucky football. I mean, we're not used to winning big or anything like that. We just want to get to a bowl. Let us have some fun out there. Well, it was fun on offense. It wasn't fun on defense. So it felt like the late 90s Kentucky-Tennessee matchups where Peyton Manning was beating Tim Couch 59-31 and all kinds of offense, no defense. It's the way it felt Saturday night, but it's just time. It's time to move on, find somehow, some way to pay that buyout. There's other teams that are paying a lot more bigger buyouts than Kentucky is with Mark Stoops. Just got to get it done. Just got to get it done and over with.
Yeah, but let's not get you don't need a retread coach, not a coach that's been coaching and failed a few times. Yeah. Pull a young coach up from from AA or 1A or what, the 1A side of it. Pull someone up like that. Someone that's got fresh ideas, player coaches, stuff like that. You might have some success.
Yeah. Like, so some of the coaching candidates that Kentucky fans are kind of wanting, a lot of people's wanting John Summerall from Tulane because he went to Kentucky. But with the recent firings in the same state that he's coaching right now may make that hard for him to come to Kentucky. We'll talk about that here in a little bit. And then Will Stein, the offensive coordinator from Oregon, he went to Louisville. He's a Lexington kid. There's some people that's wanting Eric Morris, head coach from North Texas, because they've been a fun team. And then the dude from South Florida, his name escapes my mind. But those are some of the candidates that Kentucky fans are wanting. Of course, I would like to have Summerall, but I don't know if they'll be able to get him. But you just got to make a change. You got to have a different philosophy in there than what Stoops has had. You got to freshen things up around.
Okay, let me throw some names out there for you. I was watching First Take this morning, and they was at a HBCU. Guess who's a head coach in Division I? Deshaun Jackson.
Where's he coaching?
Delaware State.
Oh, okay.
And actually today they were playing Michael Vick's team, Norfolk State. So, but now you bring Deshaun Jackson, then I'd say a running backs coach would come with him. Guess who Deshaun Jackson's running back coach is? Just found all this out today. Clinton Portis. Clinton Portis.
Nice.
Yeah. So might be able to get him too. So, you know, I mean, I'm not saying do it. I'm just saying there's a nice little pitch idea for you. At least it'd be exciting.
Yeah, and we need some excitement around here from now on. I mean, a lot of people's already checked out the basketball, especially last week when Kentucky beat number 1 Purdue in an exhibition game at Rupp Arena. People's like, okay, they're ramped up, excited now. You beat the number 1 team in basketball. The football team goes and gets destroyed, and it's like when Kentucky plays Tennessee Tech in 3 weeks, there's going to be like friends and family at that game at this point in time.
Yeah.
The way it's going, unfortunately. But that's how it is. Everybody's going to be checked out for basketball. Like I said, I'll still be here for football because it's football. But it's the train's off the tracks right now. It's derailed.
I think when you're trying to rejuvenate a program like Kentucky gets players, they're just, I don't think Stoops' message delivers. You need fresh voice, and you need someone that's going to bring some excitement. Who else would do that than somebody that in recent memory was a good wide receiver in the NFL?
I like it. I like the idea. I mean, I'm up for it. I'm up for somebody new, something completely different than what we've had for sure, just to get some excitement and rejuvenate this program a little bit because, the fan base will be there if they've got a product on the field worth watching. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Man, so Gordon, let's go ahead and Ohio State didn't play last week, so of course we're not recapping that because they didn't play last week, but let's go ahead and let's get into our segment this week, and that would be Yell or No Yell. Gordon, what is your first Yell or No Yell talk?
When you brought that up, I think one of our topics are going to be the same, so I might only have three this week. We'll see. First one, Sunday was upside down day. What normally doesn't happen happens. If it was supposed to be too stupid to happen, it did.
Yeah. Yeah, my team was one of those. Yeah, on that for sure.
I figured you'd agree with it. I mean, like I said, we talked about it already. Falcons blowed out at home by the Dolphins.
Yeah.
I'm not going to bring that one game up because that's a sore spot. So we'll go past that. Packers broke their winless streak at Heinz Field.
Yeah.
It just, there was games where it should not have happened. I mean, Dolphins, that says it all.
Yeah, a team that's seemed like they were already, as Shaq says, 1, 2, 3, Cancun, or Cancun on 3, whatever. Seems like we were already, for the season already. And to come out and just absolutely spank the Falcons in Atlanta, 24 points.
That's kind of what shocked me is that they beat in Atlanta. I mean, because that's where they beat the Bills was in Atlanta.
Yeah, and their loss was on the road, their big loss, So yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. It was a crazy Sunday all around, and it seems like we have these quite a bit in the NFL.
Yeah. I put that on my paper. I said Sunday was any given Sunday. The true definition of the phrase from the movie, that was last Sunday.
Yeah. So my first Yell or No Yell topic is LSU fires head coach Brian Kelly. That's not an overreaction. That's a justification.
Yeah, he has underwhelmed for the product, for the recruits he gets and the players they get. He has underwhelmed spectacularly, and that's the nicest way I can put it. Atrocious.
LSU expects to be in the playoff every year, win championships. He never got close to that at all. And to, in Death Valley, get blown out to Texas A&M. I know Texas A&M, don't get me wrong, Texas A&M's really good, but you're in Death Valley. You should not lose to anybody by 24 points in Death Valley.
Yeah, and not at night.
And not at night. No, that's supposed to be the most intimidating. And yeah, I think that it was time for him. I mean, when he was at Notre Dame, he wasn't really that great at Notre Dame.
No.
They made a national championship game and got beat down when they faced Bama because they didn't play anybody that year.
No, that's the year they had the linebacker that got
Manti Te'o and his fake ex-dead girlfriend.
He tried to play it off saying he got catfished.
They said that he missed all them tackles in that championship game just because he was giving his girlfriend a hug. What a strange, maybe this offseason, Gordon, we'll go over some strange stories or something that's happened in the history of college football. And that's got to be top 5 right there. That story does, for sure.
No, actually, I think that was close to number 1.
It's definitely up there. But Brian Kelly, and then, after he gets fired and gone, everybody's coming out and they're like, yeah, Brian Kelly was my biggest supporter. Then I got hurt and I've never heard from him again. It's like, man. So I don't know if he's going to get another coaching job anywhere. He's definitely got to get a big coaching job.
No. Last job he had, he was successful, was University of Cincinnati.
Yep. And that's kind of like the Luke Fickell thing right there. Luke Fickell was successful at Cincinnati. But you go a step up, and then these guys, maybe they're just not made to go up a step up. And that's the way it seems. So, yeah.
So, okay, our questions are a little different. So, I still have 4.
All right, okay. Good job. Next
one. I'm saying I got another NFL question.
Okay.
Now, this just speculation. I haven't seen it in a source yet, but normally where there's smoke, there's fire. Packers are eyeing signing Asante Samuel Jr. Is that a good move?
I'm going to yell. I think that is a good move. They need some help back there in the secondary. So, yeah, I think going after Asante Samuel Jr. is a pretty good move for the Packers at this point in time. Although Carrington Valentine played really well the other night, I think.
Oh, he did. But I think they won it for, actually, believe it or not, I'm just going to tell you right now, I think Nate Hobbs was a mistake signing. He was hurt, so he might still be coming back. But he's just a slot guy. You need one that can, because a lot of times them slot guys roll out to the corner, they wheel out. So you got to be able to play the boundary too. So
yeah, I think anytime you get a player like that to come in there and be in that secondary, I think it's only going to help the Packers at this point in time.
Yeah, I was sitting there looking it up. He's only 26 years old,
and he's probably not going to cost a whole lot right now.
No, he got cut. He don't have a paycheck coming.
Yeah, so like I said, he's not going to cost a whole lot. So why not? Why not try?
Oh, thank you.
All right, so my next yell. So a lot of these coaches in college football have a huge buyout. Some of these athletic directors, Mitch Barnhart, I'm talking to you, needs to take accountability for coming up with these contracts, agreeing to these contracts, because these buyouts are crazy.
I'm going to yell. They are absolutely insane. I mean, the guys I was telling you today when I was watching First Take, they said they would take a $15 million contract to go coach for a while. That means the buyout would be what?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, Brian Kelly's buyout's $54 million. Second largest in college football history. Largest was Jimbo Fisher. And then James Franklin's $48 million. Who's negotiating this stuff right here? Hey, if we fire you, we still owe you this much money. Why are you agreeing to this?
Yeah, someone said, I heard today, said Jimbo Fisher's buyout was the biggest heist of the century because Jimbo Fisher did nothing after a couple of years. Once the coach before his players were gone, remember, Texas A&M wasn't worth a shit, and neither was Florida State when he left. And then there was a statement said, obviously they haven't seen Kirk Cousins' contract because that's the biggest heist of the century.
Oh man, and that proved it the other day too. $187 million for a backup quarterback. That's crazy. Man, these coaches, these buyouts, the athletic directors need to be held accountable for what they do. Like if your coach gets fired, you might as well go on out the door with them too if you got a buyout that high.
Yeah, no, or you should take a penalty for doing that contract. If they've got money on the line that they've got to help pay the buyout, it'll probably stop.
Yeah. Yeah, if they take some of the athletic director's salary to pay off some of the buyout, but they wouldn't have that big of a buyout on the next contract.
No. I mean, well, if you suck, we're going to fire you, and you ain't getting a damn thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, that's what I think right there on that. Gordon, what's your next yell or no yell topic?
Okay, now, like I said, it was a little different, so we'll go in. Okay, as of now, LSU is the best coaching vacancy. Now I put as of now because not all the dominoes have fell yet. But as of now,
As of right now, I'm yelling with you. That is the best one because you can go to LSU and you can just recruit the state of Louisiana and you can find all kinds of 5-star players out of high school in the state of Louisiana. That's why it's the best job available right now. Now, when Mark Stoops gets fired from Kentucky, that'll be the best job in the country. Maybe I'm a little biased on that, but right now, LSU is the best job available.
Now, you did hear who's thinking that they brought it up. I doubt he'll coach, but it was, I seen it on ESPN. Yeah. Go Tigers.
Yeah, I seen that old I'd like to see him running back with that old I mean, he did win the national championship for him.
Yeah, he had Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, and Terrence Marshall, wasn't it?
Yeah. Clyde Edwards-Helaire the running back. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, that might have been a reason why they won that championship. But I mean, he still recruited that class too, though.
Well, one transferred, but they transferred because he said he'd be the starter. So, and that was Joe.
Yeah, they still recruited him to go there though, even though it's transfer. But yeah, man, yeah, I'd like to see that. They try to just go back over there and just to hear that again.
Yeah, that voice. Yeah.
Next year, I'm gonna say college again. Vanderbilt is a legitimate top 20. A legitimate top 10.
Which team, Bama?
Vanderbilt.
Oh yes, absolutely, 100%.
It's not a fluke.
No. I mean, they lost to Bama, but Bama had some revenge from the year before, and so, and they was playing in. They was playing in Alabama. Yeah. Yep. So, but yeah, other than that, if that's your only hiccup,
we can forget that.
Yeah, you're doing pretty damn good if that's your only hiccup.
Yeah. For the first time in 80 years, Vanderbilt has earned a spot in the AP top 10 after their win over Missouri last week, and they beat LSU the week before. Maybe some of the reason why Brian Kelly got fired too was losing to Vanderbilt. But man, they've proven it. They're tough, and they can grind it out. They can put up some offense. That game last week against Missouri was a really good football game between those two teams.
Yeah, it was. And they got a defense. They can't stop the run.
Yeah. Ahmad Hardy didn't go off against him like I thought he might.
No, they don't get me wrong. He had some good runs.
Yeah, right. But not his normal game.
No, he didn't go batshit crazy on him. So, yeah, Andy is legit. Actually, if I'd rank him on their wins and that one loss, I'd say they're top 6. I actually think they're in the top 6, in my opinion.
And we'll talk about their game on the Pick'ems here in a little bit because they've got a big matchup this Saturday. If they can get past it, I think they're firmly in the college football playoff.
Well, yeah, I mean, you get so many wins at SEC and your only loss is really Bama, and you didn't get blowed out.
Yeah, I think if they win Saturday, they can afford to lose another game like to Tennessee because they got Tennessee coming up. If they can afford to lose one more game, I think they're still solidly in the playoff.
Oh yeah, they win this one coming up because it's a pretty good ranked team. Yeah. Oh yeah, I mean, I don't see how you can keep them out unless they just lose 2 or 3 and they get absolutely. If they lose and something happens to Mr. Pavia, then they might get left out.
So Gordon, that will lead us now to your last yell or no yell topic.
Okay, this is just in general. I said this is the year that someone other than a QB should win the MVP or Heisman or both.
I'm yelling with you on this. The Heisman is kind of hard to figure out right now. Nobody has really stood out above anybody else. I mean, when you think there's one, they kind of tail off a little bit. Nobody's really said, hey, here I am. Just saying is kind of standing out a little bit. I know you don't want to hear that because it's your team, but he's had a really good year. Pavia, his stats ain't the best, but I mean, if you lead Vanderbilt to a 10-2 record, you've got to be in the conversation. You've got to get an invite to New York at that point in time, right?
Oh, yeah.
In the NFL, this is where I'm really yelling with you on this. How do you not talk about Jonathan Taylor getting MVP votes, right?
You can't. I mean, Jonathan Taylor, Jackson Smith, and Jigba.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of years I didn't think a quarterback should have won it. Mm-hmm. But this year, it's the only difference between Jonathan Taylor, but they talked about it today, and that's why I thought we need to talk about it. Daniel Jones being a good quarterback should be not an indictment on Jonathan Taylor. It should be a catapult for him because Daniel Jones absolutely sucked in New York.
Now, but before so the Daniel Jones thing here, and I haven't heard a whole lot of people talk about this with Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones sucked in New York. Who was his running back all those years? And what was Saquon the one year he was healthy? Daniel Jones played himself into an extension because Saquon was healthy. When he didn't have Saquon, nothing. What's the similarity here now in Indianapolis? He's got a great running back there.
And a good line in front of
And
him.
a good offensive line. Got a Hall of Famer in Quentin Nelson up here. And he's looking pretty good now that he's got that around him. So that's what's making him, and he's getting more talk about MVPs than Jonathan Taylor is. And it's like, no, look a little bit further in that backfield. Jonathan Taylor deserves MVP talk.
Well, he's got Jonathan Taylor in the backfield. Quentin Nelson is obviously the standout on that line, but it's a good line.
Yeah.
And then he's got a security blanket in Tyler Warren out there that catches everything.
Yeah, rookie tight end out there.
Yeah.
And then you got Michael Pittman, who's a decent number one receiver. I mean, he's not a huge name, but he's consistent.
Yeah, and Downs is a wide receiver. He's a good wide receiver out there. I mean, don't they have a Pierce? Alec Pierce. Yeah. I can't think of Pierce off. I said, no, that's 49ers. No. Pierce.
Yeah, Tyler Warren pretty much took over for Mulally Cox out there on tight end.
I'm not dropping my nickname on that one.
That's the second time I'm trying to get you to say the nickname. But we're good. We don't need to say it. We got it. We'll talk about that.
Well, I mean,
agree with you, man. Smith and Jigba needs to be talked about for the MVP as well. Got like Patrick Mahomes, which that's cool and everything, but if you put another quarterback on the Chiefs, are they going to have? They could probably lead them to a 5-3 record as well, right?
Oh yeah. But I said, yeah, I know. Same. You want me like Dwayne shut the bishop?
Do it for our Yell or No Yell and Gordon. Next, we got a little segment here that we started last week, and it is let's talk about a player that we'd like to see our team draft that nobody's really talking about. Gordon, who you got?
Well, mine is a center. Because as we both know, my offensive line sucks, and it all starts with the center, the communicator. Jordan White, center from Vanderbilt. He had a penalty last week, but it was a feisty penalty. He got into a little shoving match, and he got a flag thrown on him. But some of the success from the running game and Diego Pavia has a lot to do with the center, or that offensive line, and the center communicates, the calls to the center, shifting. Mine is Jordan White. I was looking up, of course, center, you can't tell if they give up pressure because when they come up, they're between the guard net and they got their head down. So as far as pressures, but obviously he don't give up very many because hardly no one comes up the middle on Vanderbilt. So
yeah,
I like Jordan White, center from Vandy.
All right, now Gordon, I told you that this one. He's unless you really follow a whole lot, you're not going to know this guy. This is kind of for the casuals here, but he's not a skill position player, and he's not like a flashy kind of guy that, I'd like to see the Bengals draft linebacker from Ohio State, Arvell Reese.
I don't blame you.
I would like to see if they could do that. This guy's a junior. He's got 42 total tackles, 23 solos, 5.5 sacks, 2 pass breakups, named midseason All-American first team. He's 6'4", 40, 458, 40-yard dash. He can play the edge. He can also play linebacker. But my team obviously needs a lot of help on defense. Linebacker is one of those positions where they can use some help right now. They can use it everywhere. Of course, you've seen the Jets the other day. But linebacker is a key position. It's kind of your quarterback of that side. Logan Wilson was for a while. He's fallen out of favor a little bit with Al Golden. So, I would like to see him draft Arvell Reese. Like I said, it's unknown, not an unknown name to you or me, but to some people that don't really pay much attention, Arvell Reese is a guy that I would like to see in the Bengals uniform.
Like I said, I don't blame you. When he comes in, I actually get excited.
And for good reason.
And this, to me, whenever you look at, tell you how their Ohio State's linebacker core is, Arvell Reese is not the starter on our team. He's the backup. And he's really, really good.
He's a mid-season All-American right now. If that tells you anything.
Yeah, he flies, and he follows his instincts more than the play, if you've noticed, because a lot of times I don't think he's supposed to rush, and he rushes anyways, but he gets home.
Yeah. Yeah, so there's a little spotlight for little players that don't get as much love as they should. And these two guys right here, we're going to show them a little love there this week. So.
Oh, yeah.
Gordon, now that'll take us to our next part of this, and that will be our pick'ems. Let's get to it here. Let's start off with the Penn State Nittany Lions traveling to Columbus to face the number 1 Ohio State Buckeyes. I heard some dummy didn't put who was the favorite here, but it's the Buckeyes are a 20.5-point favorite. Gordon, house divided over there at your place. Who you got in this one?
I think it's obvious. Ohio State wins and covers. Normally I don't say that, but
yeah, given the circumstances.
But now I feel better that it's a week after the little bit of life gets injected into them, because now we got a chance to study the new game tape. But yeah, I feel pretty comfortable in saying that this time. And it's at home. It's in the shoe.
Yeah. And the Buckeyes are coming off of a bye. I think that Ohio State wins this one too. Even if Mr. Franklin was still at Penn State, this line wouldn't be as high, but I would like the Buckeyes to win by at least 2 touchdowns if he was still coaching. I think they cover this spread too. Ohio State's really good. Coming off of a bye, extra week of rest. I like them in this game, and I think they win and continue their dominance this season. I don't think Penn State's going to score a whole lot on them. So give me the Buckeyes. I'm with you, Gordon. Don't show your wife this pick. So the next matchup, we're going to talk about the Kentucky Wildcats travel down to Auburn to face the Auburn Tigers. Auburn's a 10.5-point favorite in this game. Gordon, these two coaches for these two teams may not make it the rest of the season, or make it, they may be gone at the end of the season. Who you liking this one?
Well, I was sitting there doing it, and I was thinking about it. I was like, if they can do one thing, they'll keep it close and they could possibly win. Problem is every time I say something, they do the exact opposite. I don't know. Because Auburn is physical. You never know who's showing up. But the one thing that shows up is they're good inside the trenches. You have to be good with them inside the trenches to keep it close. And because we were sitting here watching, and I said, well, Dowdell's good, but Patterson in the back, it seems like he's getting way better runs. He had a lot of short runs too, but when he had a big run, he popped them. I would like to see him go to a pro set. Two running backs in the backfield, and have Seth, Dowdell, or Patterson, any combination of the two. You do a hell of a play fake and probably get some yards. But with that being said, I got a feeling it's going to be a close game, and I'm just going to say it because I want to say it's going to be upside down Saturday sometimes. Give me Kentucky in the points.
All right.
So they're 10.5-point underdog. So I'm taking the points.
So this right here, like last week, Tennessee was like a 8.5-point favorite, 7.5-point favorite over Kentucky. And I told you that I thought Kentucky was going to get killed in that game because they wasn't going to be able to play offense with Tennessee. Okay. This right here for me, I think it's a better matchup for Kentucky. Auburn doesn't score a lot of points. They're physical. They like to grind things out. They can't move the ball real well. Texas was the same way. And we seen what Kentucky and Texas came down to. I think Texas is a better team than Auburn. Kentucky on the road, night game, maybe a little bit of a difference here in this one. Seth McGowan plays, I feel a little bit better, but I'm with you. Play Jason Patterson a little bit more. I thought he had some really good runs. McGowan, if he comes in, of course, you're going to start him, let him play. Let Patterson get some touches. Keep doing what you're doing on offense. You look pretty good. Auburn's defense is really good, but their offense isn't that great. I like Kentucky in this one. Straight up, Kentucky wins this game right here, and Auburn fires Hugh Freeze on Sunday morning, and that's the next head coaching firing we talk about on this podcast next week. Let's go.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I was like, I'm going to take them with the points. That way, if they win straight up, I would still win.
Right. So the next matchup we're going to talk about here, and it is going to be number 10, Miami, traveling to Dallas to face the SMU Mustangs. Miami's a 12.5-point favorite. Gordon, they're coming off of a bye. Before they went on that bye, they got their first loss of the year. Can they bounce back? Interesting. Can they come back? Can they bounce back and beat SMU on the road? They're 12.5-point favorite.
I haven't been keeping up with SMU. Last year, they scored a ton of points every week. From what I've seen, they're not quite that explosive on offense this year. But I think that loss to Loserville woke them up. Miami wins and they cover.
I'm with you here. SMU, they had some high hopes at the beginning of the year. They were ranked. Then they dropped. I think they're like 5-3 right now, and they just haven't looked the same. Like you said, they put up a lot of points last year. They haven't been able to do that this year. Miami, coming off of a bye, they're not going to be too happy with that performance they had the last game against Louisville. Louisville's a better team than SMU, but still, they thought that, they were number 2 in the land and come out and just laid a turd. I think they bounced back here. Miami wins and Miami covers only because they're out for blood in this game, I believe. So the next matchup we're going to go to here, and that is another top 25 matchup, or first one we're going to talk about here, between two teams. Number 17, Cincinnati, traveling to Utah to play the Utah Jazz. No, I'm just kidding. I say that too much. I'm sorry. The Utah Utes. Utah is a 10.5-point favorite. Gordon, me and you both have disrespected Cincinnati on this podcast. Not intentionally, but it just happens. We just don't pay attention to them. Number 17 team in the land, 10.5-point dogs on the road. Looks like the odds makers out in Vegas also are disrespected.
Well, they've disrespected another team from that conference, but this time, no, I got Utah. I got Utah at home. The other games I was disrespecting, one I said that was when Cincinnati was at home. This is out in Utah. I've got Utah winning, and believe it or not, I got them covering too.
All right. Cincinnati has not lost a game since Nebraska at the first of the season. Cincinnati's been putting up points, look pretty good on offense. Defense kind of iffy, but once again, they're in the Big 12. You don't really play much defense, except Utah plays defense. They play pretty good defense as well. I'm with you here in this one. I think Utah wins this game. It's at home. Cincinnati is going to get their first real test against a really good team this Saturday. I got Utah winning. I got Utah covering that spread as well. Give me the Jazz. The next matchup we're going to talk about here, and speaking of the team that beat Cincinnati, number 23 USC Trojans and the team that beat them, the Nebraska Cornhuskers. USC is a 6.5-point favorite. Gordon, little Patrick Mahomes over there. We really haven't heard a whole lot from him this year in Nebraska. Lane Key goes to Nebraska to disappear. What do you think? Speaking of former Kentucky Wildcats wide receivers, how does Barry and Brown feel about going to LSU and having a coach get fired in the middle of the season? Man, maybe they should have stuck with him as that. Anyways, what do you think about this one?
A nice little caveat back to your team. Good job. It's at Nebraska. I've got Nebraska. I actually think Nebraska's going to score enough points to win this game. But here's why I don't have any faith in Lincoln Riley anymore. Tried to pick him a couple times on both legs. And besides, I think Nebraska wants a taste of that butt kicking they got last week by Minnesota. Because they thoroughly got their butts kicked last Saturday. So I think they want that. I think they want that taste out of their mouth. I think Nebraska wins a close one.
USC, they haven't looked real good, like you said. Don't have much faith in Lincoln Riley. Nebraska got beat down pretty bad last week. I think the little Patrick Mahomes experiment may be over there in Nebraska. Lincoln, Nebraska. Anyways, I think Lincoln Riley wins this game here, and I think that Nebraska covers, but I think USC ultimately wins it in a game that's not going to be a really good game, actually. Neither one of these teams are going anywhere, but yeah, it's a top 25 matchup, but I'll take USC in this one on the road. Next matchup we're going to, and it is number 8 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets, the undefeated Yellow Jackets, travel to Raleigh to face the NC State Wolfpack. Georgia Tech's a 5.5-point favorite on the road. Gordon, they're undefeated. The Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are undefeated. What do you think about this game here for them?
Tell you what, I've watched their games. They don't play the traditional Georgia Tech way all the time. They do run the ball a lot. They do have a lot of triple option. But they got a quarterback to throw the ball. We talked about that a couple weeks ago. And they can play defense, too. I know NC State is kind of like, that was like their big thing in the ACC. They played a lot of defense. Georgia Tech does, too. And they play good defense, too. So I got Georgia Tech winning. And I got them covering too.
Yeah, I'm with you here. Georgia Tech just seems to keep on winning. They may win this ACC over here. I mean, nobody thought that. I mean, with Miami losing to Louisville a few weeks ago, Georgia Tech, I mean, it's theirs for the taking. They got a really good quarterback in King back there. Like you said, he runs the ball still, but he can also throw the ball a little bit. It's not, like you said, it's not the traditional Georgia Tech triple option every play. But, you know, in NC State, you know, they're 5.5-point dogs at home. They're not a bad team, so I think that they'll play Georgia Tech pretty close. But I think ultimately Georgia Tech pulls away and covers by about a touchdown in this one. So give me the Yellow Jackets. The next matchup we're going to talk about, and this one's not necessarily a big close point spread or anything, but it is the number 2 team in the land, the Indiana Hoosiers, traveling to Maryland to face the Maryland Terrapins. Easy for me to say. Indiana is a 21.5-point favorite. Indiana is still undefeated. What do you think about this one?
And I believe they stay undefeated. I believe they cover this spread because Maryland sucks.
Yeah. Maryland sucks, but also you texted me something last week, and it hit me, and I was just like, man, you're dead on with this. We both picked Indiana last week to win, but not cover the spread, and they covered the spread easily. You said they don't play down to teams. If they're supposed to pound you, they pound you. And that's what you want to see out of a team, you know, like that. And that's the way they do it. I like Indiana in this one, too, and I think that they cover the spread because, like you said, they ain't playing down to anybody.
No. I guess they was down at the bottom for so long, they don't want to play that way no more.
Yeah, and kudos to them because there's a team that's about like them just to their southeast a little bit that I wish would do the same thing. But, hey, here we are. Give me Indiana. I got Maryland up here. So Maryland. Oh, man. The next matchup, it's the backyard brawl. Number 5, Georgia Bulldogs face the Florida Gators live from Jacksonville. The Dogs are a 7.5-point favorite. Gordon, what do you think here?
In this rivalry games are always unpredictable. One team can be great and the other team can suck, but the team that sucked is better than that team that day. Yeah. They're weird, especially in the SEC. But I got Georgia. I got them covering. And I say because they have to keep winning because a lot of teams have one loss. So if they want to stay in for that SEC championship, and you know they want it, they have to keep that one loss in their so they're gonna play hard. I got Georgia winning and covering.
This matchup right here is a battle of which quarterback shows up for each team. If Little John Stockton shows up and plays like he can, Georgia is going to win this game fairly easily. If DJ Lagway comes in and plays to the best of his abilities, which he has at times, Florida looks like a totally different team. But if you get either one of these guys with an off game, it's not going to be good. DJ Lagway is one of the worst quarterbacks you'll see if he's not on. But if he's on, he can do some special things. Little John Stockton, he's got some games where he just, doesn't play real well. I think this week he's going to come out, he's going to play pretty good. I think Georgia win this game. And I'm with you. I think Georgia covers because ultimately I think Florida's probably more susceptible to have a bad game than what Little John Stockton in Georgia is. So give me the Dogs. Give me the Dogs to cover the backyard brawl. And then the next matchup, we've got a top 25 matchup. We stay in the SEC. Number 18, Oklahoma Sooners travel to number 14, Tennessee Volunteers. Tennessee's a 3.5-point favorite. Gordon, this is the Josh Heupel Bowl. He beat his team last year in Oklahoma, his former team. What do we think about this one here?
Well, we already talked about it. Tennessee don't have much of a defense. I mean, they do got a defense, but it can be exposed very quickly. Oklahoma can play defense, and as long as they don't turn the ball over, they don't get exposed nearly as bad because of, their quarterback. And he's getting better, getting healthier, his hands better. I actually got Oklahoma, and I had them, of course, it's 3.5. They're going to cover. I'm not saying they're going to cover by a lot, but I got like a 30 to 24 win, something like that.
Oklahoma's got a really good defense. I'm not sure that they've got the offense to do much with them. Tier's getting better each week. I don't know if he's going to be back to full health or not. This is a big game for Josh Heupel. Last year they went in, they won in Oklahoma, beat the Sooners in Norman. He's going to want to put it on them. He wants to be Oklahoma's head coach. I think that if Tennessee can beat them here, Brent Venables may not make it too much longer in Norman. And then that job opens up, and then guess who's right there to take over it? Bobby Hill from Tennessee takes over the Oklahoma job. I think Tennessee wins this game, but it's by a field goal. They're not winning by 3 touchdowns like they did last week against Kentucky. This game's in Rocky Top. Give me the Vols in this one. I almost said I like the Vols in this one. I'm glad I don't like the Vols in anything. Give me the Vols in this game, but give me Oklahoma to cover that spread. Should be a good matchup. Our final matchup of the week that we're going to pick, Gordon, and that is the number 9 Vanderbilt Commodores travel to Austin to face the number 20 Texas Longhorns. Texas is a 2.5-point favorite. Gordon, what do we think here?
What I'm thinking is I know it's in Texas, but I don't know why in the hell they're 2.5-point favorites. I mean, did somebody on Vandy get hurt?
Nothing
I don't remember it. I don't remember it.
Arch got hurt last week.
And they already showed you they can play on the road. I mean, they kept at, if it wasn't for Diego Pavia turnover in the game, they might have took out Bama on the road.
Yeah.
I don't get this. Now it ran up a point because whenever I wrote down my picks, it was the other day and it was 1.5. So it's went up, it's moved. Mm-hmm. But I still got, I got Vandy winning, and I got that they should 2.5 they should cover because more likely they're going to win by 3 at least. But I got winning by more than that. I got Vandy winning because Arch Manning, once again, styles make fights. Vandy plays the kind of defense that Kentucky does, if you haven't noticed. They play, it's not the same, but it's kind of similar. Arch Manning cannot play that fucking defense. He does not do very good with it. I got Vandy winning. I've got him covering.
Yeah, this spread's a little, head scratching a little bit. Texas has not been very impressive at all, aside from the Oklahoma game. And I think that may be more of an indictment on Oklahoma there than anything else, actually. Mateer was just coming back off an injury. Arch Manning got hurt a little bit last week. They brought in the backup. Backup looked pretty decent. Texas, they're not having the kind of season that they thought they was going to have. 2 losses already. You get another loss, they're out. They're at home this week, but Diego Pavia and the guys, they grinded out a win last week against a really good Missouri team. I think that continues this week on the road. Vandy wins this game once again. And give me Vandy in this one. They cover because they're the road dog, Jesse James. And there it is. I snuck it in at the end. The very last pick. Give me the Doors, man.
I think Vanderbilt's a damn good team. I know you didn't want to jump on but
No, he was going to be a hater, but man, I can't hate the team the way they play, and he's fun to watch.
Until he plays UK, he's fun to watch.
Yeah, and guess what? Kentucky plays Vanderbilt on Vanderbilt Senior Day, Pavia Senior Day. That'd be fun.
Sorry,
Gordon. You got anything else you want to add here at the end of this podcast?
Well, no, I think we covered everything.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. So go to w.gg, use our promo code YELLING, save 10% at checkout, or use the link that'll be in this description. We'll be back here next week with some more college football, sprinkle a little bit NFL in on this podcast, and like us on YouTube, share, subscribe, comment. Even if you are a Baltimore Ravens fan and you want to trash my teams and Gage's team, feel free. Go ahead, comment on there, like on Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcast. Just check us out, and we appreciate you all listening to us here, and we'll see you all in the next one.